Who doesn't love a balloon dog? Who doesn't love a fairy powder? What happens when they meet? A while back, I saw these balloon dogs and I was really excited because I love them. I think they're adorable. And I was like, oh, I have to get these molds. So the first mold that I found came, and boy, was I surprised. It was kind of small, like it could fit in the palm of your hand. And I have small hands. So I was like, okay. So then I found this big mamma jamma, and I was like, yes, please, gotta do it. So it came, and I was very, very excited. And there's one little caveat, though. It is a matte mold. And if any of you are new, matte molds make a matte surface on the outside. Shiny molds will make the surface shiny when the project is finished. But I still wanted to try it out because I still love the balloon dog. And I was like, I ordered it and everything. So what I decided to do was make it fun and do an even more of a tryout. So I have these fairy powders that are from Resin, and they come in 6 different colors. So I did this little bottle in one a while back, and I'm just obsessed with the way it looks. This stuff really does suspend, and it's just gorgeous. So I thought, well, let me try out all 6 colors on my dogs. So here we go. So first I mixed some of the teal color, and you'll be able to see when I start stirring that just how gorgeous this stuff is. I'm obsessed because it's iridescent. Oh, you know how I love iridescence, and it's just gorgeous. So we got that stirred in. And this is the orange, or I guess peach color, that this beautiful, beautiful stuff comes in. And this is the purple, I think, or it could be blue. I think it's the purple. This is the purple, and you can see how it matches that bottle that I held up. And this is our yellow. And this is green. And the last one, this one is purple. I think the other one that I thought was purple was actually blue. This one is purple. this is I think, a pretty good way to do a tryout of colors. When you receive a new pigment, then you're not sure what it's going to do, you know, or even how it works or whatever. This is a really good way of doing it. And you have a cute little project when you're done. At some point, or before I started pouring, I took a look at them and I was reasonably sure that I didn't have enough pigment in there. So I went into them and put a little bit more pigment in each of the cups. And I'm going to get ready to pour, starting with this teal color. Now, if you ever get a mold that's split like this, don't be intimidated by it. Just look down into the middle, try to line up that seam, and clip it somehow. Clip it with something that isn't going to scrunch, you know, the mold, but don't be intimidated by it. So I poured first down into his head, hers. She could be a girl. And then I picked up the little little baby mold and did the same thing. And I kind of squeezed around there to make sure that bubbles are not going to cause me strife in the end. And then I have this peachy pinky color. The bigger dog was questionable to pour because I couldn't really see where it was going. You know, down in the head and in the where the tail is of the dog, in the pink mold, you can't see anything. It's just a cavern. So I wasn't really aware, or there was no way to tell how far up I was going. Had I been doing these all just one color, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I wanted to try to disperse the color as evenly as possible. But, you know, sometimes these things you just have to go for it and just let fate guide you, I guess. And there I'm squeezing his nose. I'm sorry I didn't have this in camera very well. And the blue is next. What we decided was blue, not purple. It was funny, I had it envisioned in my head that the colors would go down his body, almost like if you put a sweater on him, you know, and they would wrap around, you know, his body. But there's no way to, well, I could have poured it that way had I cured everything in between, but couldn't pour it that way. So what was going on in my head didn't necessarily happen. Okay, Terry, get under the lights here. And now we're on to yellow. I don't know why I keep holding it up like that. Well, when I did this mold, I had a little bit of a different camera setup than I do now. And the way I had to look around the camera to be able to see things, you know, sometimes you're in the middle of a project and you're way concerned about the project, and so you're trying so hard, you know, to make it come out nicely, and so you don't, you know, you're not as aware of the camera. And here's our pretty green. And, you know, again, I wanted to try and do each color twice in these molds, at least twice. But in the pink one, I didn't know where I was in the mold. So, you know, I kind of had to let go of those control issues. I had to sort of let it go, as they say in the movie. And just, you know, go with the flow, let the colors be your guide and all the things. So, you know, okay. That's what we did. And here's purple. I got to give a simple little giveaway that these do end up really cute. I'm actually proud of them. Okay, I decided to take that one out of the equation so that I didn't knock it over with my hand. These colors are just delicious, though. And also, I forgot to say, sometimes I'm pouring sort of down the legs because since I had debubbled everything, you know, it's just trying to make an effort to not introduce bubbles in there if I didn't have to have bubbles in there. So this is what I would categorize as a very casual pour. Because frankly, I wasn't sure if I was going to like the matte, you know, the matte version. I didn't know. Overall, though, I'm so pleased with the way this pigment suspends. It is really, really, really good. Really good stuff. If you have a need for, you know, an iridescent powder like this and you want it to suspend, it does. No glue or other additives necessary. It's magical. It really is. Good job, Into Resin. And by some miraculous twist of fate, I measured this really, really accurately. I don't know how I did it. Don't remember how I did it. But I'm pretty impressed. When does that ever happen? You know what I mean? Down to the last drop. Now I'm obsessing over each and every drop in the cup. I know you guys do that too. Resin's not cheap. And once you mix and all the things and get it ready and get it, you know, get the pigment in and all the things, you want to use the stuff. All right, I'm going to give it a spritz, and we will see you at demold. And here we are at the demold, and I had to do it sort of against myself, so it's not the actual demold of the little guy is not on camera, but here it is. Love, love, love these colors. Now, see where the seam that I talked about is? That's very, very easy to trim. It's like wafer thin, and after the piece completely cures in a day or so, that just breaks off. It's not a big deal at all. So this one, of course, will have some leakage out of there, out of, you know, the seam. Not that big of a deal, but you can see me showing it, you know, in the middle. The demold of this was pretty on the body, the tail, you know, it's very, very flexible rubber, but the head was a little bit of difficulty, because see how skinny his neck is, and those ears and the nose and everything have to come out of there, out of that little hole. So it was a little bit of work, and again, I had to sort of carry it away from myself to do it, because man, took some muscle. Here I am, still trying to figure it out. Luckily, the piece is pretty solid, so it wasn't hard to be able to pull on the body. And I wasn't very afraid of popping the head off or anything, because it's pretty thick. Then I got the idea of trying to pull that center section up over the ears first. And there he is. He's gorgeous. He's absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? The mat is sort of pearly looking. I am not minding at all. I think I have a dog here and there, believe it or not. I'm not minding that he's not shiny. I absolutely love him. Absolutely love him. And I, in the closing shots, I doctored him up a little bit with a pretty collar. So I got my clippers out to show you how to trim this or the part that, you know, comes between the body and the legs, that was made by that seam. So it is not hard to do at all. And since the legs are supposed to be in two pieces, once you trim it all out, it's like it was supposed to be. It doesn't you know, detract. It's not real obvious. It's in a seam that is supposed to be there. So and you just sort of take your time with the clippers, just clip little bits at a time, and it'll turn out beautifully. And you can get in there as close as you want, make it as flush as you want. And then I did it to the little mini dog. You know, seeing them side by side, comparing shiny to matte, I'm not mad at the matte. I'm really not. I think it's gorgeous. It's much more of a, because of this pigment that I put in it, it's much more of a pearl essence than obviously than a shiny type of look. If I had to do one thing differently, I would have put a different color, I think, in the ears. I don't think the teal color that's in the ears of the larger dog is as bold as I would have liked it to be. But I mean, that's being really, really picky. I don't. Do we ever completely love something that we do? Not terribly sure. So this was, trimming the little dog was a little more awkward just because of the size of the dog and the size of the clippers. I had to get in there and just do little pieces to get it out because these clippers, you know, the angle of the clippers to the angle of what I had to work with was just a little awkward, and it took a couple minutes, but it wasn't difficult. It wasn't anything. It was just, you know, what it was. And just a little bit of tinkering around, I was finally able to get it all out. So here they are together. Please stay tuned for the final shots. I put cute little collars on them and just made them just extra adorable. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you do, so you can join me again. See you next time.